Hey everyone, my name is Kumo and this is my reaction to the second episode of Kokkoku. So, in the last episode, Judy had a group job interview thing that didn't go particularly well. Kind of came home just laying on the floor. Grandpa shows up. He's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I hate life," or it was something to that effect. And we learned a little bit about her family. How it's not the most impressive family ever. But Tsubasa did make an effort to actually go outside, pick up his nephew. That didn't go well because that was the one time. The one time he goes outside is the one time people decided to kidnap Makoto, and since he was with Makoto at the time, he got kidnapped as well. So probably the last time he's ever stepping outside his door. So naturally, they had to get there to save them in a very quick amount of time. So that's when you have to break out your time-stopping device, which everyone kind of has lying around in the closet somewhere. And it was going fine for a while. They got there. They were about to take, everyone home. And then other people showed up that can also move when time is stopped, with weapons, and things just kept getting worse and worse. Grandpa can teleport, apparently. And although, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but some very frightening creature showed up behind one of the bad guys. So that should make things interesting nonetheless. So let's get into it. Let us begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, the motorcycle, which is just not actually part of the show itself, it's just an intro type thing. Yeah, of Geno Studio. The Master Stone that has a Master Sword in it. I can think of better things of worshiping life than a rock. Like anime girls, for instance. uh, but they're definitely wrong. Everything will change. Yeah, but we're not a cult at all. Uh, how about you don't say you did? Yeah. The opening is great, so definitely top 5 of the season. The ending's good too. But man, this opening. The Pop Team Epic actually had a pretty good opening as well, even if it was insane. A lot of flashing colors, which might not be a good thing for some people. At least that flashback segment was pretty short, so hopefully we get back into the current day right after the opening. Though they mentioned flashback a lot in the opening, so... Yeah, I think that was the guy we saw in the flashback. But yeah, a lot of, clock symbolism. Well, more like sundial there, but you know what I mean. An episode's apparently called Moments. Obviously fitting with the theme. I do like when anime do that. And why don't we get back into it? We start with threatening an unconscious child. Yeah, speaking of behind you, you might want to look in that direction. And Grandpa apparently expected this. Well, he knows a lot more than everybody else. Yeah, some terrible, So he's not one of them, and that's not good. Well, not good for him, at least. I can be happier. Jeez. He really should have quit while he was ahead. Or at least, turn around. Well, that's a good thing. He's like, I kill one person, my job here's done. Or I particularly hated this asshole the most, so that's all I need to do. I still want to know exactly how the broken glass thing works in stopped time. Like, how much momentum would the glass have before it just stopped after getting broken? I feel like it shouldn't break at all. But I don't know physics well enough to really argue what it should and shouldn't be in this theoretical scenario. That doesn't tell me much, Grandpa. So what are the rules of stasis? Was it no stealing and no peeping on girls? Oh, that's what it was, okay. Oh, that's not good. If I didn't know all the rules of a system like this, I probably wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it, man. And if I did, I'd be very careful. But hopefully she doesn't have a concussion after, Unless they have a stone as well, but... No, you can still see birds and stuff frozen. I don't think it's going to answer, Jury. And things got so complicated so quickly. The thing, yeah. Oh yeah, we'd like some explanation on that. The stalled. Man, you know a situation's bad when stopping time all around you doesn't help at all. The Genuine Love Society. That's a nice name, but... uh... Yeah, so at least that rule is clear. Older than you? Oh wow, that is horrible. Yeah, we clearly needed to see this again. That looks unpleasant. Huh. So I'm not really sure what it's doing. Unless it's gonna heal him. Or, you know, allow him to not be stalled. I probably should have figured that out before it was obvious, but... Of course, that means he's not stalled anymore, which means he has another protection. Oh, it's true, alright. Your god's kind of frightening. Yeah. You could give them back to the, Yukawa family. He's like, sure, whatever. Yeah, that's it. Small. That's probably a mistake. Yeah, shake it off. That's a good way to put it, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, even if they had their own, they shouldn't be in the exact same one. Yeah, that's an issue. Shish, shish, shish. It stopped time, so sound is gonna travel really far. Man, she is so interested in that. I don't blame her. I'd love to learn that. It takes years of training and experience. Well, if you put it like that, sure. I'll do it right now. That's not gonna work. I was hoping she would, like, jump. uh. With that jellyfish, so that's what he calls it. Poach! Don't break a hip, Grandpa. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. It's only really helpful if you're, like, trying to dodge, he even has the injury, if you're trying to dodge, like, a fatal strike. I've never actually seen an anime where so much just took place in stopped time. So that is pretty cool. How many Ks can we fit in a single title? Not a very good cage. Not really a cage at all. At least it looked like one side didn't have a wall, but that might have just been the shadows in the scene. Then we do not attack the stalled. I'm guessing a stupid amount. Yeah, drinking a bottle would be interesting. I was wondering why that little thing was sticking out like that, but then I realized, yeah, stop time. Yeah, I don't think a ladder would work. Match probably wouldn't either. It was awful. I still would not call that small. But yeah, didn't they kind of imply there was more than one of those things? Like anyone that got stuck there? I'm suffocating out of water. Help me. Please push me back down. But yeah, I'm curious what her deal is. Why she knows what she knows. Poor Tsubasa. But yeah, was he trying to pretend he was still stalled so they leave him alone? Now that he's in a great situation either way. But I guess he was able to get out of it, so... Yeah, I don't... I mean... Does he understand that time stops right now? That's not gonna do anything. That also wouldn't do anything. I mean... He's gotta be wondering why glass is stopped in the air, so... uh... Unfortunately, that didn't even help that much. But man, this has been an awful day for him. What do you see? Another stone, a time-stopping stone. What's this fancy technology here? So they were watching them, so they would try to sync it up perfectly to them. Even if you deliberately try to do that, I feel like it would still almost be impossible. Like, getting down to the exact frame is very difficult. But there might have to just be a little bit of suspension of disbelief on that one. Yeah. Because we're talking about frames here, and like 30 frames a second. That's a lot less than a second, and a second's not super long. Well, obviously. Several years. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. I was kind of waiting for somebody to just show up in that room, like behind him. Actually made me jump. Wow. He wasn't he wasn't so impressive. He had the jump on her and still that altercation ended badly for him. You really are, because if they knew about Grandpa enough to deliberately target him, they would know where he lived. So they would go there. uh, uh, it's things going from bad to worse, pretty much. I don't see you dying, but there's not a lot of people that can really help in this situation aside from Grandpa and maybe Tsubasa. It did not just end. I mean, not that I'm complaining about it ending, mind you, but... But yeah, I think she'll be fine, hopefully. She is a protagonist. Well, either her or Grandpa, more so her. But yeah, drinking anything in stasis would be such a pain. Is that other girl in the ending theme like the girl that was given the cult information? And good god, that back shot of that. Oh man, that is a glorious shot. A very nice ending, yeah. I mean, it keeps killing my train of thought, but... But I'm curious exactly what her deal is. I mean, we got a very, very brief flashback of her as she was walking around across the bridge, but it went by a little bit too quickly for me to make anything of. Just the random shots of them just undressing. Yeah, because they show her with her a lot in the ending. I bet. Interesting end card. So that was the second episode of Kokkoku. This continues to be a very interesting show. Definitely the, deepest show that I'm watching this season. And yes, we started off with quite the incident. That giant thing is apparently referred to as a handler, and it just kind of bit the one guy's head off because he broke one of the rules of stasis. We don't know all the rules of stasis, which is a pretty bad thing, honestly, but one we do know is you don't mess with the stalled, which he did, so he paid the price. And it, absorbed, I don't know, his essence, or I guess it would be his ability to go into that world. And then it's kind of gave that to Tsubasa, which allowed him to go from being a stalled one to being in stasis. Of course, he still pretended to be unconscious because that's kind of the smart thing to do in that state. So, but then he got up when everybody was left, and he was worrying about Makoto, of course. He tried to bring her to a hospital. I don't know if he fully understands what he's, that he's in stasis. I kind of got the impression that he didn't. It should come, I was going to say it should be obvious, but he's obviously in a very panicked state, so I guess it's somewhat understandable. And we learned more about the bad guys in this instance, that they're a cult. I guess they worship, the time-stopping stone and everything, and the handlers, which I think they had a different name for it, and that they're after the Master Stone. That Grandpa has, of course. Now, I was wondering about this, because apparently the cult members were watching them and went into stasis at the same time as them so they could be in the same frame as them. And I was kind of calling bullshit on that a little bit because there's no way you could time it that good down to the frame. Even timing it down to the second would be a little bit difficult. But then, this might just be a rationalization in my head, but if they referred to the one Grandpa had as the Master Stone, so I'm thinking maybe there's only one Master Stone and the rest of them are just, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of a good word for it, but they're just regular versions of the stone. And when the Master Stone is activated, anyone that's touching a normal stone goes into the same stasis, but they can't activate it via that stone. It has to be activated via the Master Stone, and then it's passed down to all the secondary stones. Then anyone who is touching a secondary stone goes into the same stasis. That's a theory I have. That's the only way I could think that would work without having to have some serious suspension of disbelief. So that's the theory I'm going to go with. And that's why they want the Master Stone, so they can go into stasis whenever they want. That's my current theory. It might get proved wrong, but yes, we learned a lot about what their objectives are. They apparently just want the Yukawa family to seem like they just disappeared, so, no raping her in the home. But yeah, Grandpa didn't know any of that, so they were put into a position where Juri went home all alone, and she's very much outnumbered, so she seems fine, though, in the preview, because previews are usually spoilery like that. So I don't think anything too bad is going to happen to her. I don't know if Tsubasa will show up, or Grandpa will show up, or some mystery person will show up. Speaking of mystery people, Shoko, the one chick, she's the biggest mystery, because she joined up with this cult, half a year ago, gave them information, and want to know why she has the information, why she went into stasis, I think she said 17 years ago, what her objective is and all this. That's probably the biggest mystery that I want to learn more about. And I think I've talked about this long enough, so a good episode, definitely got me wanting more, so thank you for watching, and thank you Cnouki, as well as everyone else, for doing what you can to support the channel. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can continue to grow the channel together. If you want to do more to support the channel, then you can become a patron on my Patreon and get cool rewards like early access to certain videos. Have a good one.